Hey, welcome back everybody. Today we're testing the new Storm DNA Coil. If you like what we do, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe and check us out on Patreon. First impressions, I feel like I took a Storm DNA and put some shine on it. Good or bad? I don't know. Let's find out. Okay, here we go. I'll mention the usual resurface of the reactor gloss first to 1000, step 2 compound, light 3000 scuff. I start out the testing and I give it a go on the 2023 USBC Nationals double singles pattern. I'll say this was very tricky for a fresh flat pattern, but the point here is less about the pattern matchup and more about getting a true read on the shape of the reaction. The high volume towards the outside means there's a big out of bounds and a shiny ball will not read that at all, pretty much, regardless of how early the core rolls. I knew the correct break point, so hitting 7 down lane gets you to the pocket. You don't get much room. Big thing is ball had mixed reaction going through the pins, maybe a few too many deflecting shots. The ball is very controlled, really, just not enough traction to work particularly well here, despite it being a lower volume pattern overall. Quick look at the original DNA and you can see a very similar and familiar shape, but earlier and less sensitive down lane basically. Now I also had a quick look at the DNA coil on a house shot as well, and boy was this thing long. I was surprised how much push the ball had, but the truth is the pattern is terribly walled, but also for some reason isn't jumping off the outside, which sounds bizarre. So that's what we have this time. So the pattern really required the ball to provide traction, of which the DNA coil generates none. So I had to get pretty square. Ball pushed and had a controlled back end, and I can see this working on tougher, broken down conditions. It's certainly not a fresh oil ball. The core gets into a stable point relatively quickly, and the cover is clearly not the flippy variety. Truth be told, I was a bit disappointed I didn't have a better look, as I love the original DNA. And here it is for a quick comparison. It shows you two things. One, the pattern requires a cover that bites more. And two, the DNA coil really is hard to distinguish as much more than a shiny DNA. Really, it had me thinking this feels very much like a cleaner version of the original, which it is, as you expect, although many times we see vastly different reactions between the solid and pearl version. In this case, we don't. So it makes me wonder, why wouldn't I just lane shine the original DNA and call it a day? The other thing I'll add is for motive fans, this ball reminds me a lot of the Trident Horizon, where it's a kind of early rolly. I might want to consider the DNA coil mid-define, but I'm a little confounded as it feels a little too control for that. But I typically don't put ASIMs in control often because of the core limitations.